Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith, and I would not be the filmmaker I am today, barely respected with no hits to my name, were it not for the wonderful world of Disney. We all love Disney, man. Whether it's the movies, the parks, the Marvel movies, what have you, man. Disney is in our DNA. And you know whose DNA it's really in? The Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Lee. You want to go Disney hard? Never Disney soft. That's the show for you. Magic Our Way podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's all the Disney. You looking for a little D or the big D? Magic Our Way's got it for you.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You are listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States of America. We are artistic buffs talking about Disney stuff, and this is the show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find this for this show. We present another magical, amusing show. This time we discuss our 3 must-dos in the Magic Kingdom over there at Walt Disney World. And look, this isn't your typical polished, practiced, pixie dust and Disney podcast.
That's right, Kevin. We're here to do our must-dos, and that's drink and talk Disney.
That's right. You should be used to it by now because we've done this over 400 times, so be good with it.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
And Lee.
So guys, look, enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go discuss some amusing magic. And here we are on another magical, amusing segment. This segment in which we go, what do we think about these things? So for this one, we are discussing our 3 must-dos in the Magic Kingdom over there at Walt Disney World. So must-dos. But before we start with this, I guess we should talk about how we arrived at our 3, maybe our thought process or methodology. Do you think that's something we should clarify for the listeners?
Because that way people don't think to themselves, okay, these idiots are just going to name 3 attractions. We're not going to do that. No, these are 3 things. I wouldn't even call them must-dos because I'll be honest with you, I had the hardest time coming up because there's very few things in the parks these days after having gone for so many years that are absolute must-dos. These are just kind of important things that if it works out, I would like to do. I would consider this priority to do. How about that? Because normally, I just go to the parks. Nowadays, it's just a walk the parks, visit the shops, occasionally stop for food and drink along the way.
Pizzi pooch.
Yes. Whatever's available en route, we stop if there's no wait or minimal wait, I should say. I mean, Lee, you actually, is there a better way you can describe this?
Yeah, well, how did you do it? Yeah.
I think that's a perfect explanation. It's not, yes, must do in that if it's at all possible, these are things that I really want to accomplish while I'm there. It's some of my favorite things that I like to do. At this point, it's not like there's anything that if I couldn't do it, that would cancel my trip or make me not go, anything like that. For example, when we're going to March, Everest is going to be down for refurbishment. That's one of those things that I would really try to do every trip. It's a great attraction, but am I going to cancel my trip or rearrange it around that refurbishment? No. Am I going to be a little disappointed because I don't get to ride it? But I think you're right on, man. Like, this is stuff that we really like, we really enjoy. And to the best of our abilities, it's something we try to do every time we're there.
Yeah, the only thing to me that would be like a must-do would be something brand new, like you just mentioned with Everest. I remember when Everest was first getting ready to open, that was the big thing, was to get to see Everest. And so, yeah, if I was to find out that Everest wouldn't have been open, if I would have just pushed my vacation by a month and I would have got to see it, I would absolutely do that. Because it would be must-do. Rise of the Resistance was must-do when it first opened. This past trip, Ratatouille, was absolutely must-do.
I remember back, maybe it was the trip before last year, before the shutdown, I should say, when we were still doing the old Fast Pass system, I really felt like I needed a Fast Pass for Flights of Passage. If I didn't have that Fast Pass, I knew I wasn't going to wait in line. I knew I wanted to ride the ride because I hadn't ridden it yet. But, man, if I didn't have that Fast Pass, I was seriously considering, rearranging something or going later, but it worked out. as you said, man, like at this point, we've pretty much done everything, seen everything. It's just some of these things that really stand out that we really like to try to enjoy if we're there.
Eli, you got anything as far as how you narrowed down anything you want to add to this?
Oh, yeah, this was a pretty challenging exercise. I just pretty much took it as some things are things that I'd love to look forward to doing on a vacation. Other things were, if it occurred, I would stop whatever I was doing and then do it. And then one was kind of like a tradition that I would have. So it's, I try to keep it as personable to me as I could.
I think traditions, that's a good name. That's a good way to put it.
Also, I mean, there is just things that if I went with you guys, wouldn't be as much of a must do, like say taking a picture in front of the castle as it would be with my family.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I had that factored into all of this. And basically the way I did it is I didn't know how to approach it for the reasons that you guys already stated. So I was like, okay, I got to come up with some kind of methodology. So basically what I did is I went through the website, the Walt Disney World website, even my Birnbaum guides. I pulled out I made a spreadsheet. I pulled out everything that I like to do.
Wow.
Oh,
because I figure my must-dos must be in there.
You locked yourself into Kevin Cave.
I did. I researched this when we said we were doing this. I researched for the past 3 days. It was kind of crazy. I was like, oh,
wow.
I kind of dig this.
Have you seen your wife and kids in the last 3 days?
I have, actually.
Okay,
I have.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not that crazed with it. Like popcorn bucket people.
His daughter already started college.
There's like a flow chart.
Yes, and I'm in
debt. Strings tagged from one thing to another.
Grassy knoll.
It's a beautiful mind in Kevin.
How does all link to the Kingpin? And,
from the Birnbaum guide to the map.
Yes. So anyway, I listed all the things that I like to do because my thought process, like my must-dos must be in there. So then I looked at that list. I was like, well, what are the things that I hit pretty much every time, whether it's conscious or unconscious?
This is going to be nothing but toilets.
It's nothing but toilets. That's right.
Nothing but toilets.
Well, I mean, I didn't even put that in there because that's a given, right?
Oh, okay.
But out of that, I was able to pick 3 that I noticed in each little area because we're doing Magic Kingdom. And stay with our series, guys. We're doing our Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and other places in the world.
And a surprise topic that we have no idea what we're talking about.
And so, I was able to find about 3 things that I pretty much do. I do every time I go, regardless if I'm going down there to do a must-do thing like a new attraction or whatever else. But these are things that I do every time. So in my head, I'm like, well, I must want to do this. So that's what I'm going to be listing on my particular things.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Let's get in. Who wants to throw one out there?
Well, okay, we're starting in Magic Kingdom?
Yeah, this is Magic Kingdom.
Yep, Magic Kingdom.
And then subsequent shows will do the other parks on those Magical A-Musings.
So Magic Kingdom's happening right now.
Magic Kingdom is this show, this episode.
Okay.
Our 3 must-dos in the Magic Kingdom.
I think we should let Lee go first since this was his idea.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, go ahead, Lee.
All right. Let me throw the obvious one out that I've talked about before. I am going to go on Dumbo at some point in my Magic Kingdom days. It's just pure nostalgia. I love that movie. I understand it's not the world's greatest attraction. It's a spinner, but it just doesn't feel like a Disney vacation unless I get to ride Dumbo. So that's my number one. Anytime I go to the Magic Kingdom, I'm going to do Dumbo at least once.
And at your age, with your heart and health, that is
it's probably better.
That's a thrill ride. Too.
Yeah,
Yes.
keep it simple.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to move that lever back and forth.
Push the button.
That's it.
Push
to push.
I get off on Walt Disney. Oh, I'm going in circles.
It's a cute nostalgia ride. I mean, I think like especially if you have like a kid that you're with, that's a nice like easygoing kind of relaxing.
It's
ride.
iconic Disney. It really is.
It is.
Yeah. It's one of those rides that you ride and you're in Disney.
How many pictures do you have, or at least I do, of myself taking a picture of the elephant behind me with my kids in it, and trying to do a selfie and get them in the background? And you're right. For me, it's just like taking a picture in the castle. I'm gonna get a picture on Dumbo.
Well, Lee, I'll take it a step further. How many press photos does Disney use of people happy on Dumbo?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you see that a lot. Everybody going and they get Dumbo flying and stuff like that.
And you know why they're happy too? Besides the ride in that area, now correct me if I'm wrong.
They finally got on the ride.
But all that too, right? That line is still long. Yes, it is. I mean,
it's pretty popular.
and
Well, I mean, they switched the lineless queue thingy, but it is busy.
it is busy.
It was such a thing. Wasn't there a politician who wouldn't even be photographed in Dumbo because he was a Democrat and he thought being photographed inside of an elephant would have been a bad look?
Yes, we covered that, and I don't remember who it was.
I don't remember who it
but
was. Yeah.
I do remember
man.
covering that as a story.
Was it
I thought was
LBJ?
funny.
No, he's Democrat.
He's Democrat.
Yeah, I think it might have been LBJ. I'll have to go back and look at that show.
He just didn't have a good political spin. He could have been like, yeah, but the
Spin.
elephant flies, so I'm making it fly over to the other side. He just wasn't thinking.
I like how you said spin.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
More political.
What about you? You want to throw one out there?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, in Frontierland for sure.
Well, I think I know what you're going to say.
You know what I'm going to say?
Because I'm sure it's on both of our lists.
I would imagine it's always going into firing the rifles and getting some target practice in. I literally
Country bears, right? Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not it.
I do shoot. I do get hungry.
You can
every
shoot
now and
bears?
again, if I have to. I don't have no honey on me.
The
but
ducks walking around.
Yeah, but I will fire at spirits. I will fire at houses. I will fire at flying creatures and stuff in there.
I'm
but
just joking. I know what you're picking.
yeah, I got to do the shooting gallery. I love it. And that is something. Literally, if I'm with a group of people and we pass by that area, I'll be like, "Hey, look, tell me where you're going. See you in 20 minutes. I'll be a roll of quarters ready to go."
And you can always know when Eli's there because when you pass by, you'll hear, "Get some! Get some!"
I love the smell of fake guns in the morning.
Yeah. Get
Smells
this out.
Smells like victory.
Yeah, I'm winning, baby, I'm winning. Oh yeah, just it's good. It's good for the mind. It's very it's very easygoing.
It's such a I have that on my list too as one as well. And I figured Eli would, and it's just so much fun because of the technology. They haven't really done much to advance it, so it's still pretty primitive as far as those type of attractions where you have some kind of light source or beam. I don't know what they're using now, and they have a target that reacts to it. It's so rudimentary, but it works. So it's so much fun because then you have the fake with the echo, and it's just hilarious because then you get some guys up there to go. I'm like, I know it's free and all, but dude, come on, at least put some effort.
Yeah,
and he's sitting there like like Arnold Schwarzenegger with two M60s.
Yeah,
He's like, come on, man, put a little effort into it.
When we went last time, wasn't it turned on like for free? You could just walk up to it and play.
Yeah. It was. So. It was great. It was great. Because I always had trouble trying to get. There's one target on the back wall where you shoot it in the sky and it makes a little Ghost Rider go by.
Yes.
Oh, I remember that.
I always have trouble with that sucker, and that and the train that's way in the back. You're trying to shoot down the car.
You try to hit each target as it passes by you. Yeah,
and it's tough.
And the house.
In the house, yes.
That's
and then you run out of quarters and it's like, oh, cool, I got to put some more money in. But now that it's free, boy, I was able to finally hone in.
You lit them all up.
I lit it all up. It was great.
To be honest, I think that optometrists should use this in their technology to figure out how good your eyesight is. Because like you said, hitting the skyline one is really far. And so like you can't see it. You might need to get your eyes checked. See? There you go.
So if you're a bad shot, you're just walking around with Mr. Magoo glass.
That's it.
Something, huh?
Yeah, just make sure it's
yeah.
not sunny outside so you don't burn people. But other than that,
yeah, it's like a laser tag thing because basically you don't have to worry about elevation or windage. So you just kind of point the light and shoot, and you're gonna hit it if you got the sights lined up.
2 clicks over, son. That's where he is.
It's like, dang it, man! 24-hour wind threw my bullet off. Dang, I can't hit it.
But I love it. I will stop.
It's great.
And go there and do that all
the time. I do that all the time too. I think the last trip, like Kirk stood in that line for the pins, for the 50th pins, and I went and played. It was great.
Yes.
I was waiting in the line. It was always awesome. But anyway,
Nice.
Danny, what about you, sir?
Oh, I'll just go with the obvious. No trip to Disney is complete without a trip to the Haunted Mansion and Memento Mori right next door to it. I mean, in fact, it's more of a must-do to go in Memento Mori than what it is to go in the mansion, because if that mansion's got a 50-minute wait, I can wait. I've seen it a lot. I can wait until later. But Memento Mori, I have to stop. Even if I know I've seen everything, and I know everything that's out there, and I've seen what's online, and I just have to walk in there and physically be sure that there's nothing in there.
There's no in-park exclusive stuff, right?
Yeah, right. There's nothing there that is really cool that I don't own yet. Like, I remember when I found those little dioramas with Madame Leota in the attic with the bride and everything like that, and I bought those. I had no idea those. So it was all there could always be like this neat little Haunted Mansion thing that I never knew was out there. So I always have to stop and do that. Haunted Mansion as just my favorite ride. That's my quintessential Disney experience. So yeah, I have to do that.
No, it totally makes sense. So if all you listeners out there are listening to the show and you've listened to the show for a long time, you probably could have guessed what our first ones we're throwing out there. Everyone is pretty quintessential to each one of us. Dumbo and Haunted Mansion, shooting gallery. So now, what's next? Lee, back to you, sir.
All right, so for my next one, I need to, at some point, sit outside the Plaza restaurant with some ice cream and just hang out, enjoy the ambiance, enjoy the view of the castle. Sometimes it'll just be a Mickey bar, but because that's, you can't go wrong with a Mickey bar. But sometimes I'll actually go into the Plaza ice cream shop and get some ice cream and sit out there on those chairs and just hang out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I've never known him to be that still.
It's usually like by day 5.
I was going to say, this must be when we're still sleeping.
Yeah, for breakfast, I have ice cream for breakfast.
Hey, why not? You're on vacation.
That is
I wasn't going to fault you. Yeah, do it.
No, it's also too like mostly when I'm with my family, and it's time to let's take a break, let's relax. And the kid loves ice cream. He'll eat ice cream anytime, so you don't have to ask him twice. It's just a nice little spot to hang out and people watch, and you got the castle right over there, and you're on Main Street, all the music and
So romantical.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Beautiful.
Very
So
chill.
lovely.
So no Mickey bar. You're actually getting ice cream from the plaza.
I mean, sometimes I'll grab a Mickey bar and sit there, and sometimes we'll go into the plaza and get some ice cream there. Either way, though, we're enjoying some ice cream in that area, hanging out.
Nice. Well, I'm sure Eli has that on his list, right?
What, ice cream at the plaza?
Ice cream in a form that you get from the plaza, right? Didn't you rave about this in our last show?
I mean, I do. That's not one of the ones that I have.
Really? Because I thought this was the new tradition.
Oh, well,
Oh, that was a float.
there was an ice cream float. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. But you kind of, towards walking out from Main Street, I was going to say that was like one of the ones. That was going to be my last coup de grace since it was on the way out the park. But yeah, yes, the float, the root beer float. Yes, that is one of my. I can't have it that early in the morning, though. I got to
You
have.
sure? Have you tried?
Okay, to your credit, Kevin, I have not tried.
Oh.
But also, I don't get up that early.
Well, I mean, I was thinking relatively speaking.
Okay.
So whenever you get up if that was your first meal of the day.
But the thing is that makes sense in that, one, you need sugar when you're toting around in that laborious area. And yes, and that makes you
A
happy.
little caffeine, that's in a float
and
too.
Florida's no joke.
You got some dairy, that's in a float too.
I try to stay healthy while having fun.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
right.
right.
I'm sure there's some kind of, if it's a root beer float, you got some kind of vegetables in there, maybe. I don't know.
It's got barley and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Sarsaparilla is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
The other thing is too, though, like, again, Florida is very humid, and like that is one of the coldest. Now, because there's the one that's really at the end of Main Street, right? That you can go and get the float at as well, because there's the main ice cream shop, and then there's this other right at the end. I cannot remember for the life of me the name
Ice
of
cream
it.
parlor? Or?
It's probably ice cream parlor.
Ice cream parlor.
It's like right at the corner.
You're not on the corner? Right across from Casey's?
Hey, it's going to be right
Yeah.
across from
Yes.
Casey's.
Next to the
So, yeah,
place.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They always pump out the cookies. or
So
cookie
that
smell
place
and
is.
stuff.
I'm so used to going to Disneyland now. I'm just all
I
thrown
know.
off by that.
I just throws you off. But
Oh,
it's
no, yeah.
but it's like being in a freezer. So like, with Florida being so humid, that's also a very cool place to go to, like literally to kind of get your bearings back. But ice cream, yes, ice cream's on top.
I like it. Speaking of on top, for mine, and I just happen to do this every time, if there's one thing in Tomorrowland I want to do, maybe other than Space Mountain, but want to do, it's definitely People Mover.
Move that people.
And if I had to pick one or the other, chances are Space Mountain's got a long line, so I'm going to do the People Mover. So it's just it's a classic ride. The technology of the ride system is just so classic with the magnets and whatnot. Paging Mr. Morrow, all those kind of spiels and whatnot in the ride are just and it's a relaxing trip around Tomorrowland.
The visuals are outstanding.
Yes, you get some scenes that you don't see from the ground or within a particular ride, so that's kind of fun. So. Yeah, People Mover.
Oh, well,
I move poop, but People Mover moves me.
So Pepto-Bismol's the ride
Yes.
now. Okay.
Yeah, so People Mover, yes. I definitely got to do that.
Just don't throw any quarters off of there now, Kev.
No, I've never thrown anything off of the People Mover.
They can see him
I've
from
never
that
done that.
distance.
I've
Why
never
it
done
still
that.
exists.
Yes, I've never done that. Only because I think the station's right there, and
Yeah.
they can see you, and
You can see
and they
you.
have cameras.
Yeah.
So
But you can throw the quarter, but you got to throw it right before you go back into the tunnel. So
Well, they do
they'll
have
see.
cameras, because I remember, and this people will be mad at me for even saying this, I suppose, but in my mind, this is back when I was a smoker, and we're talking about like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
Very
like
long.
I was in my early 20s, and we got in the People Mover, and we're outside, and I'm like, light up, I didn't realize back then, because this is when we were really started going back to back to back to back to where now all of a sudden you're remembering everything. But yeah, like I lit a cigarette on the way, like, and I heard Sarah know, so oh shoot, and like I had to fling.
You threw it off the People
You
Mover.
threw it, somebody's head got lit on fire.
Well, I flicked the little, how you flick like there's a little lit part of the
Cherry,
cigarette.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I flicked that off of it, and I because I had no money back then either, so had to save those.
What you didn't know is there was a guy on the ground that skillfully lifted up his cigarette and all of a sudden it was lit. He's like, "Oh, Disney's truly magical." And he walked in his day and started smoking. He's like, "This is great.
Thanks, Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell lit my cigarette.
Been dying for one all day, man. That's awesome.
My Virginia Slim."
But yeah, no, I remember doing that.
Oh man, that's a really long
I
time
just figured we'd be outside the entire time, so what's the harm? And oops.
It does get you when you're out
Ooh,
there.
well,
But
Yeah,
it's
I did
chill.
the same thing on Big Thunder. I'm like, it's an outdoor ride, no big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, you smoke? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Put out the eye of the guy next to you.
Sorry about that.
So, Danny, was People Mover on your list too? Or?
No,
Oh,
it
was it?
wasn't.
Okay, okay.
There, well,
What you got?
I'll stick with what Eli and Lee did, and kind of just go more of a different route. And that's, and I've said it time and time again. It just so happens that one of my favorite stops to stop at is always Sleepy Hollow Refreshments, and my favorite snack to get, and it is something that I do every single time, is a corn dog. Have to have a corn dog. I mean, when we went on the last trip, that's exactly. Eli and I saw the parade. We're like, and not parade, the fireworks. Saw the amount of people there, and like, screw this. Made a beeline to Sleepy Hollow, got corn dogs, took them over to Liberty Square Market. Watched the fireworks from behind at that point in time, and just sat there, ate, and enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun. It just so happens to be, as you said, something we do every single trip. It just seems to be that one thing that I have to have at least once a trip.
Yeah, and because of you, I want corn dogs too now.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me to leave off Cases. I know they have the corn dog nuggets. And it was hard for me to leave off Sleepy Hollow, but there's another establishment that I kind of put above because that's what I kind of do. But
Well, I was going to say that with regards to your People Mover thing. It would have been up there, but there was one thing that just beat it out.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Same here.
are there no corn dogs at Casey's? Just corn dog nuggets?
No, my wife said the exact same thing. She's like, I thought there were corn dogs at Casey's. And
There
I know,
used to be, right?
I'm pretty sure there
Yes.
used to be.
Yeah, because it was it was like the footload hot dog. They always just advertise.
Well, no, they always
Yeah,
had
they
the hot
always
dogs.
had that.
Right, that's what I said. I just always remember the hot
But
dog.
my memory of it is because she's telling me it used to be. I can buy that used to be. It seems logical that it would used to be. But to me, I remember getting the corn dogs in Frontierland at the little cart over there more so than I remember getting them at Casey's. So I'm going by her memory of it.
You can't have a hot dog place and not sell corn dogs.
Well, they've been doing it for a while.
I remember hearing about this, and I want to say they had corn dogs. But I think at the time, if you remember, they used to do chicken strips too, but they switched to chicken nuggets. That was a whole to-do. And I think at the same time, when they switched from chicken strips to chicken nuggets, and this is not just Casey's, but this is a lot of different places on property. When they switched from the strips to the nuggets, that's when Casey's went from the full corn dog to just the corn dog nuggets, I think. If I remember correct, because I do remember getting a corn dog from Casey's at one point in my life.
It wouldn't surprise me. Again, my wife vividly remembers Casey as being the place.
And it's delicious.
Yeah.
Now, how do the hot dogs at Sleepy Hollow compare to the corn dogs at Sleepy Hollow compare to the corn dogs in Disneyland?
Ooh, the ones in Disneyland always, to me, have been the best. I don't know how to explain it. I can't break it down like Eli can break this down.
California Spice.
That's the OG corn dog.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Everything about that was the other thing that was hard about this exercise for me is because I've gone to Disneyland so much more than I've been to Disney World lately. I mean, my only trip to Disney World was like 2 days.
Yeah.
When we saw you guys, I mean, majority of my trips have been to Disneyland. So maybe just because I remember it more, maybe just because there's something about Disneyland that resonates to me more when I'm there. It just feels like I'm at the place. Whereas when I'm in Disney World, at times, no offense, guys, I just kind of feel like I'm in the copy of the place.
Well, to be fair, you are.
Yeah, well, unless I'm in Epcot, or unless I'm in Studios, or unless I'm in Typhoon Lagoon or Animal Kingdom, in which case these are completely original things, and I'm stepping foot in. But when I'm in the Magic Kingdom, like I'm saying, like when we were talking about Main Street, I was getting Main Street confused because I'm thinking of the Plaza Restaurant. When Lee's talking about the Plaza, I'm thinking of the Plaza Restaurant, and I'm like, well, that's a little bit different than what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the ice cream. And so
Ice cream, yes. Yeah.
it took me a little bit, but it mixes you around a little bit.
Yeah, and to be fair, and this is a little tangent, but it's like, I do believe, and I don't know if I've ever said this in the show, but yes, it is a carbon copy of Disneyland. However, I think because Walt wanted all that space to create, had he still been around, it would have had its own, Walt Disney World would have had its own je ne sais quoi. for less, a lack of a better word. It would have had its own little different spin, which would have made it unique.
Well, just the fact that Walt would have walked it would have made it fine.
Right.
And then-
Yeah, right.
Just the fact that, he was there.
I mean, no offense to Roy or any of those guys. They did the best that they could with what they had and what they had to deal with.
Well, Roy barely got a step or two in before he was gone.
Yeah, but they're not the figurehead. Like, they're not the face. So,
But to your point, yeah, copy, absolutely. Because that's what they knew would work and would keep the business afloat.
I mean, talk to any of the Imagineers, and they'll sit there and tell you, it's like, yeah, we like what we did in Disneyland better.
And we'll do Disneyland with this exercise, too, at some point, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to go a couple more times before we can do that, though.
Okay.
My must-dos are go back.
Okay.
But to Lee's point, I do remember having the corn dog when we went and met up with you guys in Disney World, and we definitely had corn dogs when we were in Disneyland. And I remember liking the Disneyland one a little bit. I felt the ones in Orlando were just a little bit greasier, if that makes sense.
Well, that's like the churros for me. I think the churros in California are better than the ones in Florida. For sure.
Turkey leg,
100%.
same thing.
Big time.
You
Yeah,
just
turkey
know
leg,
that first taste when you had the item. You're like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And then it's the consistency of it. And that one time when you go to Disney World, you taste, you're like, this ain't right. You can't put your finger on why, but it's wrong.
just a little something that throws it
A
off.
little something. I mean,
got you.
I totally get you.
All right, Lee, back to you for your third one, man, sir. What you got?
Last one.
All right, last one. I almost went with Casey's, but truth be told, it's not really. I mean, Casey's just came on my radar like the last two trips. It's like I always heard about it, but I never really paid too much attention to it. Then I was like, okay, so maybe there's a really good attraction other than Dumbo that I really want to do. And honestly, all of them, but the one that I really just, it's not even a must do, but I just enjoy myself so much when I do it that I try to do it every time. And that's Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
That's fair.
The bad jokes, that just right up my alley. It's just one continuous dad joke, and, that's just right where I'm at, man. With that kind of humor, it's just right on my level. I also like that, especially if you get like the right skipper, it makes all the difference in that attraction and your enjoyment of it. So I just always like to try it because it always, even though it's mostly the same jokes, it always seems a little different every time you go.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is different every time you go. They just mix and match.
Well, literally now it is different because now if you woke, there's something else going on now.
Man, the wokeness really isn't infected all that much. I didn't find. I mean, like the jokes and all are still the same.
Still same.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a fun. I mean, that's a fun one no matter where you go. And I think it's a chill one. And depending, I agree with you, Lee. Depending on the skipper that you get, that does add to the experience, and it's fun when you with your people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Eli, man, what about you, sir? What's your third and final one you want to throw out there?
I'm like Lee. I had a couple on this one where it was really tough because it's weird when you go there, you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just doing this and that and the other. Now, like I said, I'm like, okay, what's something that's like a tradition? What's something that I remember? What's something that calls to me when I go? That's what I kind of went with. And the two I was wrestling with, can I just say the two that I was wrestling with?
Yes.
Go for it. Yeah.
Good dude. Yes.
Big Thunder Mountain was one that I know it's been closed and we hadn't been able to, go to it. But like when it was in its peak, if you will, I had a lot of memories on that one. I love going on that because it's fun. It's fast. I could like, woo, and I ain't got to worry about like, losing my lung on a 50-foot drop or something like that.
Well, it was closed when we went to Disneyland. Was it closed in Disney World?
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay, because Eli and I were there. When you said it's closed,
that's-
it was closed, but it was closed in Disneyland.
That's fair. You're probably right. I probably messed up.
See, there you go.
It's messing me up on inside as a human being.
Same here.
But when I remember one time I lost my glasses, someone found them.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Yeah, I remember that.
But then I was like, ooh, I would go with that. But then another thing popped in my head and it said, don't forget me. Don't forget about what I mean to you. And that's the duck butt, man. That's the duck butt.
Philharmagic. I was about to say.
Yeah, Philharmagic. Yeah.
When I think of Eli, I think of Philharmagic. So
I
if
do
that
too.
helps you out,
When I
then
think of Eli, I think of duck butt.
That's
I think
the
of
thing.
Jasmine and Duck Butt being there. I mean, and by the way, you may have lost your glasses on Big Thunder Mountain, but didn't you lose your hat on Splash?
No, but he lost his mind when he saw Jasmine.
Yeah. All the time. Yeah, I think so. One of them I didn't get back. A hat that I had was this. Oh,
But no, Duck Butt, yes.
no, but
Philharmagic, yes.
But besides, okay, but so here was the thing that made it win. And number one is the fact that I'm really used to, before we go, for some reason, everybody goes to the Excalibur sword. We always take a picture
We do, yeah.
in front of it. That is like, so it's
Oh,
like,
wow. That could easily be a must do. Now you say that. That's true.
that is true. So
Well, on a podcast trip, I think that's a must do.
Sure.
yeah.
We've established that.
Am I cheating then? Is that like squeezing 2 into 1? Because I don't
No.
need to do that. It became
Squeeze
an
it.
experience.
Squeeze
I
it.
like to squeeze.
Squeeze it.
That's like me putting Memento Mori with Haunted Mansion.
I think
Okay.
that's fair. It's,
Yes.
it's the same kind of, it's same,
It's
within
same
the
area.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, sorry, I always remember taking a picture, like, you get the cast member and we've taken a picture together in front of it and then we go to it. And it's a chill thing. I know everybody's seen it. They've added Coco to it, so thank them for revamping it. But also the other thing is, as an artist, it really does remind me about specific tools, like, perspective for shortening, like that's really done an effect. And every time I do see it, besides seeing some nice duck butt, I do feel a little creative recharge when I watch it. So yes, that is a must do. I rarely not go, no matter which one I've been to, right? Because we've been to both, and I've gone there for both of them.
We've said that a million times before. Those 3D shows, you would think that by now you've seen everything there is to see and they would have lost their luster. But PhilharMagic, Muppet Vision 3D, it's tough to be a bug.
Absolutely.
I could easily put all those in my must-dos. If we were just talking about attractions, I wouldn't be surprised if all of them made it.
Yeah, no, I have, I think I have all of them in, it's funny, I have a list of must-dos and want-to-dos.
Yes.
Just in case we needed some extra honorable mentions, and they're all in my definitely want-to-dos.
Do you have the spreadsheet? Because you may as
I
well
have
just
it right
post
here.
up the spreadsheet, dude. We just check out, like, that's me right there.
Yeah, but these are
That's
things that
Andy
I
right there.
like. These are, I don't know.
I
if
like
they'd
what
be
you
the same.
like.
Bark like a
Yeah,
dog.
whatever you like.
Make it sound,
You like.
hop on one foot. Make it sound like a orangutan. Do that for 12 years and we'll do a sequel.
It really is sad that they don't do more with the 3D movie technology anymore. I mean, Shrek just closed, and Shrek had a hell of a run over at Universal
Oh,
Studios.
man.
But
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Danny, to your point, Disney just does such a great job with those.
yeah,
No offense to Universal, but Shrek, I love it. It's just classic, but
it's Crowd Gobbler.
yeah, but at the same time, it's like the system they used was kind of clunky. But Disney, from right off the bat, was just awesome with it. Even with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh, the
Audience. Yeah.
The audience, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a
Honey, I
good
Shrunk the
one.
audience.
That was a
I
good
mean, right off, I think that might have been before Shrek, was awesome.
Yes, I agree.
But yeah, I think if they came up with another 3-day show, I wouldn't complain.
No, not at all.
I'd love to see it.
I'm surprised they haven't gone back to that yet.
They should go to the World Showcase pavilions and put those suckers in there.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that would be cool.
I bet you want Crowd Gobblers in Epcot? Do that.
As long as it's immersive, though, that's the trick. It's
Reflections
gotta
of
be
China.
immersive.
That yeah.
No, get rid of all the 360.
Mulan.
Yeah,
Boom.
get rid
Put
of
it right in there. Yeah.
Maybe make the 360 the
Shang-Chi
3D.
in there now.
Shang-Chi. There you go.
Ah, beautiful.
Go with that.
I love it. All right. So, again, if you're fans of the show, you know this with me, even with my family, even without. One of the things I like to visit, and this is my third one, is Ye Old Christmas Shop.
Oh yeah.
That's like definite stop. No matter what trip I'm on, whether it's podcast or family, I always make sure I end up in that place. I just love going in there, regardless of what time of year it is. And they just do such a good job. From the minute you walk in, you're immersed in the holiday spirit. You get to see, and part of the thing with my family too, what is a must do for us, because we collect an ornament for that year. Usually they do the year ornaments like 2021, 2022, and that gets onto our tree. Although lately we haven't been doing it because of the freaking cats, but whatever.
Cats.
But you still have the ornament, though, right?
I still have the ornament, and one day when one particular cat kicks the bucket, we can put him back up.
There's Toots.
Because I have
Toots is
one,
messing up your Christmas.
yes, I got one cat that just loves to tear up the Christmas tree.
Wow.
And then those we lost one because of it. But that's okay.
Lost an ornament or
we
a
lost
tree?
the ornament. Yeah, we lost.
Oh, I thought he said he lost a cat.
No, we lost the ornament.
I was like,
I was so angry. I'm like, no, you messed up my ornament.
It was like Christmas vacation.
Yes.
We missed the cat. till
Fried
it's executed.
pussycat.
Yeah, it's gone. Get on out of here, kitty.
Yeah, I love the old Christmas shop. It's just a fun little shop in the middle of Liberty Square. It's just well done. All right, so I got to stop there every time.
Yeah, well, I mean, how does that one compare to you to the one that was in Hollywood Studios?
Well, the one in Magic Kingdom is a lot bigger than Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios, unfortunately, is closed. But if it was still open, that would have made my list too.
That would have been
Yeah.
because they had the snowman out in front of it and stuff like that. So I thought to ask.
I thought it was great. I mean, I can tell you right now, right off the bat, if you're guessing this, then over at Disney Springs, I got the Christmas shop there too.
Oh,
The 12 Days of Christmas. And we'll talk about that when we get to the others.
I
That's
remember that
definitely
one.
as my one. But yeah, for some reason, all the Disney Christmas shops, I love it because it's just so well immersed, and it's great air conditioned too. But
Beautiful.
at the same time, it's just, I just love it. It just makes me happy. It's happy on top of happy.
It makes you happy going there.
It makes me happy. And then, the whole holiday spirit makes me happier.
It makes me happy that it makes you happy.
Man,
That's
I'm
what
so
makes
glad
me happy.
I'm
And
so
I'm
glad,
happy.
man. Yes. You're happy.
happy too.
Oh, happy.
Oh,
We have it.
Yes. So that's my third one.
So, okay, so for my third one, I tried to talk myself out of it, but I mean, there was just no way. I mean, y'all have a lot of honorable mentions. I would say one of my honorable mentions that is just should be on this list, but because of the format, I just could not figure out any way to put it because the bottom line is I don't care where we do it, but once a trip, I've got to get my daughter to sit for a portrait.
A caricature or a portrait?
Both. I mean, like if you go to Epcot, it's more of a portrait, but it's still caricature. So it just depends on where we are when we have the time. So we've done it in Magic Kingdom right over there by the Christmas shop, as Kevin just put it. We've done it in Epcot by France. We've done it by Animal Kingdom by the Boneyard. We've done it in the resort, like by where you actually had to just leave a picture and do like. I mean, we've done it in a bunch of different locations, so it's hard to just kind of narrow it down to just one. But that is something that is a must do every single trip. But I just don't have any place to put it, so I'm just going to mention it now, just for the sake of getting it out of the way.
Yeah, what's interesting is that it's not necessarily a tradition for us, but now that I'm thinking about it, we've done that a lot. Like I'm thinking about it, yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, we have a lot of those. I remember our first trip, our very first trip, the kids wanted to have them done. And you know how it is. It's like, oh, come on, we got to go ride this or we got to do this or, whatever. And we just never got around to it. But they had a guy we were staying in Port Orleans, or maybe it was, okay, so it wasn't our first trip because we stayed at Port Orleans. All right, so we were in Port Orleans. It was our first trip with Joshua because he was little. So we were in Port Orleans. It was our last day, and it was like getting close to closing, and like, man, we haven't done it yet. So my daughter's like, hey, can we do it? They've got a guy right here in the lobby. So I was like, all right, cool. So we went and got it done, but we didn't have time to do 3 of them. So the gentleman that did the picture, I'm still friends with him on Facebook today. His name is Alex. And I don't know if I mentioned him. He hung out with us when I went to Universal back in April. But anyway, so we gave Alex a picture. He's like, hey, man, I'll send you something in the mail. Like, send me a picture of Joshua and I'll make something and I'll mail it to you or whatever. So he did it in his own time, off the clock, and made us a picture for Joshua too. So
That's
we
awesome.
got one for each kid on that trip. And and I remember my daughter, she wanted to do it on another trip, and I was like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, if you ride Tower of Terror, I'll let you do it. And so she doesn't like that ride at all, but she did. So she rode Tower of Terror. I was like, all right, cool. So we went and got the caricature done.
That's great, man. I'd like to see some of them.
Yeah.
I love
because
it.
I have all of ours saved. That's awesome.
And we got one from the podcast.
Yeah, we have one from the
Disneyland.
podcast,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's awesome.
Lily's got one of hers, Moana. But I mean, COVID changed the whole thing. Now you can't sit for it anymore. Now you've got to
You got to leave a
give
picture.
a picture.
Yeah.
That part of it sucks. I don't like that. It's not the same experience. But
It's not authentic.
anyway, I couldn't figure out where to put that. So because I can't put it, but it deserves to be listed, I'm listing it as an honorable mention.
I like it.
I'm with you though. I'm with
Yeah.
you on that one. That's a good pick because actually it's one of the future shows. I do have that listed in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
so-
Nice.
So what I'm going to go with, and what I could not get around, no matter how clever I tried to be,
How clever were you?
not clever enough to get beyond Pirates of the Caribbean. It's
That's fair.
Yeah.
classic.
Classic.
If there's 2 rides I need to do when I go to Disney, it's Haunted Mansion and it's Pirates. I have to do them. I have to experience that. I have to look at that ceiling and being like, that. I can't believe that's really not a ceiling. That's
It's
so cool.
nighttime.
Yes.
Is it really nighttime?
You can see it when you stare at it now. But I don't know. Again, I'm partial to that Disneyland one. Disneyland one pulls off the effect a little bit better.
They're each a little different. I'll
Yes.
give respect. I mean, you have the theming in each one is slightly different, but if I had to give the edge, I too would give it to Disneyland.
Yes.
Right.
Let's move to breathe, so to
Yes.
speak.
And you got that longer period where you're going through. So anyway, point being is that, yes, Pirates is just Disney to me. I have to ride Pirates. The gift shop going through that's a hoot. I love that.
That's true.
That's very true.
So-
That's an awesome gift shop.
That's
Yeah.
historic.
Yeah.
Actually.
I could see trying to put, I don't even like eating there, but I just like stopping and just say, hey, Sonny, and walking out of there. And that's not Tomorrowland. What do you call it? The launch pad. Lunch pad.
Lunching pad.
Lunching pad. There you go.
Oh no, that's you talk about Sunny the
Sunny Eclipse.
Sunny Clips. That's at
Cosmic Rays?
Oh, Cosmic Rays. There you go.
But say, once you pass at the bottom below Astro Orbiter.
You're getting that total recall issue. We both suffer from this right now.
Yeah. It's hard to remember Disney World, isn't it?
It's blurring. It's like,
we're getting older.
That's very true.
We were sitting at lunch today, and I was talking with Lily and Anna. I'm like, and everything Lily named was all from Disneyland. She's like, Daddy, I don't remember Disney World. I'm like, yes, you do. There's this. And it's like, I had to kind of figure it out. It's like, well, it's only been 2 years since we've been there as a family. I mean, but anyway.
And that's okay. I have no issues with it.
No, I to be fair, to be honest, with the Frontierland, I had to sit down and really think, because I was like, wait a minute. Because I remember one time before we went to Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, I stopped at the shoot and I saw y'all walking by. And I was like, yeah, that was a real short distance. And then I was like, wait a minute. Wrong place. So then I had to sit and think, like, when I was here, how far was everything? Like, yeah, it's a mind twist.
It is.
It really is.
Cool. Guys, we hope you enjoyed that discussion of our 3 must-dos in the Magic Kingdom. If you want to learn more about us, the Magic Our Way podcast, magicourway.com is the way to go. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. And if you want to get in touch with us to share your 3 must-dos in the Magic Kingdom, you can do so through the following ways. Shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com, or you can call us, send us a text message. Yes, I did say text us at 1815-MOWEEKEND. There's 1815
Weekend. That was so loud. I don't even know if you heard me.
That was 669-4226. Oh yeah, we heard you and felt it.
Oh
yeah,
it was awesome.
I put bass in there, extra bass.
Yeah, I love it.
I was
bass line,
rumbly.
I was like Howard Stern up here. Go.
I know. I was like,
wow. I think my glass lens is broke.
I do that. I'm like Harry Potter with that, with the fat lady singing.
Carey,
yeah.
how you doing?
The fat Filipino saying.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
crap.
the end of the show.
And the show is not over until the fat Filipino sing.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful stuff. Boy.
So look, man, guys, listeners, comics. Eli's your man. Dude, tell them how to get your comics, sir.
Yeah, hey, look, anytime you have a chance, visit the ivycomics.com website. You'll see everything I have for blog posts and, interviews and the comic products that I have. So, Molly Be Damned, Project Geisha, Savages, all the good stuff right there. There's a link to this podcast. You never miss an episode. All the jokes, all the insight is all connected, because what we learn from Disney, synergy. Bam, that's what we do. So check out the Ivy Comics website. Appreciate that. Facebook.com/Eli H. Ivory, that's me. As long as you're a real person, nice to meet you. If you're a bot, you know what I'm going to say. I don't want to greet you. Get on out of here. So Project Geisha has a Facebook page. So Facebook.com/Project Geisha. You can see all the updates and stuff that I have for that. Instagram, I'm right there. EIV504. Posting up thumbs and hearts and likes. Get me right there. And of course, on Twitter, I can be found at Hancock10166. So if you appreciate the baddest, they just bringing me the gladdest. Thank you very much.
I think being your friend is getting me hit up by bots now.
It's tough, huh?
I know, man. Like, I'm getting like friend requests from people, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're listeners, because I don't know who these people are, and I don't have any like friendships with them in common. And then I look, and it's just a profile picture of some girl trying to look hot. And then you scroll down, that's all she got.
That's all she got.
That's her entire profile. And I'm like, I think by virtue of being your friend, I'm getting like it's like catching a social disease or something.
You get the social network disease.
Yes.
Look, you've never had a friend like him.
I've not.
Never had a friend like E.
Yeah.
There you go.
There it is.
That's right.
I'm so sorry, Dan.
No, man. It's just second-degree botting, and it's kind of weird.
They're nice pictures until you find out who they really are.
Yeah. And look, guys, if you're not sure about what your 3 must-dos would be in the Magic Kingdom, you can book a vacation through Lee so that you can go down there and do some research and figure it out and get back to us. Lee, how do they book a vacation with you?
Yeah, if you want a must use a travel agent. That's a must do. So just give me a call at 832-431-1621. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Lastovica Travel. That's LASTOVICA Travel. On Instagram, You Got a Friend in Lee Travel. You can also find me on TikTok at You Got a Friend in Lee. And if you do need that, we'll get you hooked up and booked up with no
Hasselvika.
In addition, guys, there's so many ways to support the show as a whole, and you can find them all on our website, magicourway.com. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. Also, we want to take a second and thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. So make sure you share your top 3 must-dos in the Magic Kingdom today. All opinions are always welcome in the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us. Some weekends, we say Quaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
I have every intention of eating those bananas for breakfast, but I still somehow end up with tacos.
Ice cream for breakfast.
With a float.
Hey, this is Kevin from the Magic A podcast. When Calgon can't take me away, Matt had